I agree with you. I want a global taxation.
They are talking the normal. If we continue talking the normal, Emmanuel, we will never solve this problem.
Kenya's President William Ruto has once again found himself trending for the bad reasons amid the ongoing war in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Ruto, who chairs the East Africa Community EAC, had on Sunday called for direct engagement between the Congolese government and the M23 rebels, who have captured the strategic city of Goma in eastern Congo. Ruto stressed on the importance of both Rwanda and Congo to facilitate humanitarian access to the affected populations, while also urging both parties to pursue peaceful means to resolve this tragic conflict. However, on Monday, the Kenyan president would also inform of his call to the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, and also the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to discuss the ongoing conflict in Congo. According to his tweet, President Macron had pledged France's support in addressing the conflict in Eastern DRC and expressed backing for Kenya's involvement in peace initiatives in Somalia, Sudan, and South Sudan. The notion of President William Ruto interfering in the situation in Eastern DRC, particularly given criticism regarding his governance and accusations of corruption, has thus raised several points of discussion. Here is what an ex-user tweeted this morning. Quote, "Leaders who face allegations of corruption can exert influence or engage in international diplomacy. Ruto's position as a president of Kenya grants him the authority to engage in foreign policy, including regional conflict mediation. His involvement might be seen by some as an attempt to assert leadership or to gain political capital, both domestically and internationally. However, this does not necessarily mean his actions are welcomed or seen as legitimate by all parties, especially given the corruption allegations, which might undermine trust in his motives. Kenya holds a significant position within the East Africa Community EAC and has historical ties and interest in the stability of the region. Ruto's engagement could be part of the broader regional strategy where Kenya, regardless of the personal reputation of its leaders, plays a role in peacekeeping or conflict resolution efforts. However, this involvement can be controversial when there's a perception that the leader's personal integrity might not align with the impartiality required for mediation. The negative perception of Ruto, particularly in relation to corruption, can significantly impact how his actions are viewed. African public opinion, as highlighted in various posts on X, shows skepticism and outright rejection of Ruto's involvement in the DRC crisis. This is partly because corruption can be seen as a failure of leadership, which might translate into doubts about his effectiveness or sincerity in international diplomacy. Despite domestic and regional criticism, Ruto might see an opportunity to enhance Kenya's standings or his own political image by engaging in international diplomacy. Aligning with France could be strategic, providing Kenya with diplomatic or economic leverage in the region. However, such alliances could also raise questions about the motives behind the involvement, possibly seen as a move for personal or national gain rather than for regional stability. The legitimacy of Ruto's role in this matter is questioned not only because of allegations of corruption, but also due to past actions or perceived biases, as noted in some of the posts, where his relationship with the other regional leaders like Kagame is criticized. For any mediation of peace effort to be successful, trust is paramount, and accusations of corruption can severely damage the credibility of the mediation. There's a strong sentiment among many Africans for indigenous solutions to continental problems. The involvement of a leader like Ruto, who faces significant domestic criticism, might be viewed as further complicating or externalizing an issue that should be resolved by African leaders and institutions. While it's within Ruto's capacity as president to engage in such diplomacy, his effectiveness, legitimacy, and acceptance in this role are heavily influenced by his domestic reputation and the political climate within and outside Kenya. Africans' reactions reflect a broader call for accountability, transparency, and genuine regional autonomy in addressing conflicts like that in the DRC. End of quote. Now, Ruto's handling of the situation has previously angered Congolese authorities, particularly when he compared it to Kenya's domestic political rivalry, a comment seen as dismissive of the gravity of the conflict. Tshisekedi has publicly accused Ruto of meddling in DRC's internal affairs. In a May 2024 interview with Jeune Afrique and the Africa Report during the Africa CEO Forum in Kigali, Ruto downplayed Rwanda's role in the crisis, arguing that M23 fighters are Congolese. Quote, "How is the M23 Kagame's problem? It's a Congolese problem," end of quote, he said, adding that during an EAC Heads of State meeting, Kinshasa itself had confirmed that M23 fighters were Congolese. What do you think about this story? And is President William Ruto being unfairly judged on his involvement, particularly making a call to the US Secretary of State and also French President Macron? Leave your comment down below and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.